Needle gameplay has often been slammed as a disgrace to Geometry Dash. Demons such as I Wanna Be the Guy are seen as obnoxious, tedious, and lacking any appeal. But despite all this, there's actually a good side to Needle, and I'm going to explain what separates fun precision-based gameplay from annoying silent levels. If you've ever thought that there's no such thing as a good Needle level, you're not alone. I remember just a year ago thinking that levels full of basic, boring jumps with overly tight gaps were all Needle gameplay was. I saw the trend as just creators attempting to dress up their dull 5-star layouts by covering them with spikes, which was neither interesting to watch nor fun to play. I believe that there was no point to any of these levels, that if you wanted fun yet challenging gameplay, you could only achieve this with fancy gimmicks, not with dozens of tight gaps to jump through. I was surprised to find that when I mentioned Needle style in a video on bad platformer gameplay, some commenters spoke up in its defense. I was confused, like, are these people actually trying to convince me that this is peak level design? I would later learn, watching a Nothing is Scary livestream, that I didn't actually have to enjoy that type of experience to have a positive perception of Needle gameplay. During the stream, Nothing is Scary was talking about how bad Needle can sometimes be, and I asked if he thought it could ever be good, to which he replied yes, giving me Short Medium Demon I Wanna Be the GDash as an example. So I played it recently, and while the gameplay is far from perfect, it opened my eyes to just how much fun Needle can be when done well. That and some other levels shared with me by my lovely viewers. This raises an important question though. What do these levels have that other Needle demons don't? What sets these levels apart is a factor I'm going to call natural difficulty. A point from the bad platformer gameplay video that I still 100% believe is that spikes should mainly be used for structuring, and that having good gameplay comes down to building a layout where interesting things are going on before any spikes are added. Natural difficulty means that when spikes are added, this is primarily done out of necessity to structure the level and prevent cheesing. If more spikes are added on top of that, it constitutes artificial difficulty, which isn't inherently a bad thing, but definitely can be. An example of bad artificial difficulty is what is probably my least favorite segment in I Wanna Be the GDash, a small staircase climb plus a maneuver onto a larger platform. Seems like no big deal, but I actually crashed here a lot of times and was thoroughly pissed off by the time I reached the next checkpoint. In writing this video, I've realized that what caused my bad experience was the artificial difficulty in this part. These spikes are completely unnecessary. With or without them, the player is forced to climb up these platforms and then drop down to continue the level. The spikes only serve to artificially raise the difficulty and lower my enjoyment of I Wanna Be the GDash. This is the pattern I've noticed for good versus bad Needle gameplay. If it's entirely dependent on standing in spikes jumps with microscopic margins of error, it's not going to be very fun. Some artificial difficulty is acceptable if you're building a really hard level, but if you've made a good layout with cool tricks that actually look impressive on their own, you generally don't need Avogadro's number of spikes on the screen at once to make your gameplay challenging. The levels that I've been introduced to have done a very good job in the cool tricks department, building impressively engaging gameplay with a very limited number of mechanics, showing that you don't need any fancy gimmicks to make a platformer demon worth playing. If you watching this have any further insight on the Needle style or a favorite Needle level you'd like to discuss, the comment section is always open. And I have a Discord server. If you've ever wished to add more friends with whom to discuss various topics, Geometry Dash related and otherwise, Rootbeer's Hub is the place for you. Join by clicking the link on screen and start having stimulating conversations with me and with other viewers of the channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.